Hello and welcome to Whose Podcast It Is Anyway, where the four people here didn't know whose fucking channel this was going on. I'm your host, Zander Carver, and I'm running out of creative taglines. I'm also considering turning to alcohol for the upcoming teen video. To my right is Ray Wood. Just when you think you have the answers, he smokes up a new question. Right below me is Prince Mada. He really agreed to come back. He is a glutton for punishment. And right down here, to my bottom right, is Gregtree. What is a Gregtree? Is it a tree of people named Greg? We're asking all those hard questions and more, as this is the first ever free edition of the LS11 Patreon podcast.
Before episode 1.
That tagline for Gregtree just gave me the weirdest thought of a massively hollowed out tree full of people named Greg.
that was kind of a thought.
Well, it clearly worked.
You in a Rob Zombie movie. You would get inside the Gregtree.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're missing by not pledging at the $1, $5, or $10 tier at Patreon. Creative conversations like this.
Yeah,
we discussed what a literal Gregtree would be.
Yeah.
Behind the great minds of the universe modes that people watch.
Yeah. So, Mada, Gregtree, how you guys doing?
Oh, terrific.
WW2K20 is about to give me a stroke.
And yet you all talk about in the Discord about how it's not that much worse than 2K19.
Hey, I've never once said that.
I don't think it's bad, but I'm still on PlayStation for now. So
19 I would be using if I had it on my Xbox One S.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
So what I hear is you're sympathizers. And therefore not American, not trustworthy.
It's more of make do with what you have.
Yeah, pretty much.
Make do with what you have. Okay, a broken highlight reel.
Yep.
Broken highlight reel. Monstrosities of a creation suite.
Yeah.
Literally, the ghost of Christmas past would take Ebenezer back to when he released this game and the torture he inflicted upon the masses by doing so.
So little did anybody know, this was actually a trap to get Mada and Gregtree on here so we could make fun of them for using 2K20.
All right. I'm leaving.
Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we brought them here for. So now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LS11 podcast. Okay, welcome back, guys.
Thanks for having us. It was a good time.
Yeah,
Fire me on my wedding day.
Xander, are you going to make them big? Are you going to make the screens bigger or smaller? Make a stylistic choice and stick with it. I am watching this right now before you do it for the next hour or hour and 30 or however long.
Sticking with this. We're sticking
Make a decision now.
We're sticking with this one. This is final, I promise.
Okay.
Jesus, can we calm down for a minute? We have...
Lovely photo of Xander's Scarlet Witch.
No way! I don't think so, pal. That's not how this works.
Worst part is I don't have any alcohol in me at this point. It's going to be like when I can.
I got some marijuana in me right now.
That explains a lot.
Terrific.
Okay, let's dive into the first question.
Okay, remember, we're not behind the paywall right now.
That is true, so don't talk shit about certain people.
Yeah. Or don't just outright be Ray.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's not let this go as off the rails as the episode literally called Off the Rails.
This is the episode where you're trying to convince people to become a Patreon to hear more of this, and it's just been downhill from the start.
Well,
we have not talked any wrestling yet.
Why are you... Okay, on that note, why are you bringing up the worst episode we've ever done? That's basically like a 55-minute stream of conscience from my insanity to the screen.
When
You know what the worst part? I watched all 55 minutes. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
I watched all 55 minutes. That's the worst part.
Of course you did.
Bo Burnham's inside doesn't have as many questions as me swirling around in that chair. This
Okay.
is talking about the universe. I
have a
almost
question.
talked about the existence of God on that podcast.
Okay, we have a question.
Great.
It's, of course, our first question, even when we're not doing this on Patreon, is from Jobber JJ, who says, hello,
Woo!
we're just past the 10-year anniversary of the pipe bomb by Xander's favorite wrestler. If you were watching at the time, what was your thoughts, and how does the message stand 10 years later? Have a nice day, heart. I wasn't watching 10 years ago, but CM Punk can go, wait, we're not behind the paywall shit.
Okay, I'll take it.
Go, Mada.
I was watching, and I was like, my first thought, damn, is this shit real? Like, I was 11, so I was like, wrestling is real all the time, but still, you know what I mean? Like, is he really doing this?
I was 11. I knew wrestling was fake. From the ages of 9 to 10, I was David Arquette in Ready to Rumble. I was the wrestling star. I was the "it's still real to me, damn it" guy. Basically, I was that dude. Which that's a clip we need to get into our clipboard. That guy going, "It's still real to me, damn it." By 11, I had accepted that was fake, but I was still watching. And when I saw Punk cut the pipe bomb, I was like, "What is this? Why is this so much more compelling than I've been over the last number of years?" And like I couldn't explain why I was so intrigued, but it was obvious why. It was really well written. But
I was a big CM Punk fan at that time. I mean, he was pretty
I
much
was
the most
too.
interesting thing going on in wrestling at that point by a couple miles. Him and Christian were kind of my guys around this time period.
Yeah.
That was after Hardy had left the company, because Hardy was my first diehard. I cried when he retired. I was 9 years old. I hated CM Punk.
I wasn't around yet.
Let's say when I was watching that, it definitely helped in the fact of at that time I didn't understand faces and heels. It was either you're liked or you're not liked, not actually what a heel and a face are. And it was after I was watching it, I was like, damn, I really hate John Laurinaitis. I don't like Vince McMahon. They suck. I was like, because I love CM Punk, and I feel like a lot of kids did when they were younger, just because he was different than
Anti-hero.
Yeah, he was an anti-hero. He was stray away from the normalities of everything.
Just basically the complete opposite of John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I'm about to say. For myself, CM Punk was perfect for someone from the ages of 11 to 13. Because that's when a kid first starts to rebel.
Yeah.
So it was just the perfect kind of I hate everything. And I don't like John Cena anymore. I want the anti-John Cena. I want CM Punk.
I think CM Punk, just all wrestling fans it was just a breath of fresh air at that point too, because it was so PG, so played out. I mean, we were in the John Cena fucking.
I was it was all PG, and it was the same guys over and over again that were on top. It was Randy Orton was a good heel in 2009 and whatnot, when he was, or even before that when he was with Legacy. And then there were guys like Triple H and then Cena. There was a big 3 or 4 that just ran the company.
And honestly, I'm just saying this because he's my favorite of all time. I think Punk quickly filled the void
of Edge.
Of Edge, because Edge just retired at that point.
I think it was the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because Edge was gone, and you need another alternative culture guy to, for fans to appeal to be the cult guy, and everyone wants to see him win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really tried to make Del Rio a star around this time too. Really, really tried. He won Money in the Bank and won the Rumble the year before, all in an 8 months window.
Yeah, which is I don't know how I feel about the idea. I get it, but I don't think Del Rio, excluding his personal shit, was pushed so fast that fans immediately got what was going on and was and just said no.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Del Rio was ever. They were never I feel like they were trying to really make him a star, and it just never worked.
Well, like we were talking about last night, on Discord, WWE really hasn't regained the fan base it hasn't had in Mexico since Eddie Guerrero died.
Mm-hmm. And I really don't think they will. Like, I feel like their most recent chance was maybe in Andrade. Like, Andrade was great in NXT, but still, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and Andrade still has the potential to because he was so big in Mexico already.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something. That's a different story for a different time. And they tried forever to make it Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But Rey Mysterio is like his
More
parents
appeal
are from
to a chill
Mexico, but he's. I think Rey Mysterio. I'm pretty sure Rey Mysterio was born in America.
Yeah,
He's from San Diego.
San Diego.
619, baby.
Well, I knew that, but I was like, maybe he moved there, maybe he was born in Mexico. I didn't know.
Because, like, I mean, Mysterio is more like Eddie Guerrero is more edgy in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like the lie, the cheat, the steal. Rey Mysterio has more always been geared towards kids. The mask, like he's never once done an act of like heelish whatsoever.
I would say he's been a babyface his entire career.
I mean, no, they turned him heel on WCW for a bit, actually.
I'm not very familiar with anything really WCW outside of Goldberg. So,
but
I thought Goldberg and NWO are really like the two that.
Yeah.
But back on that, I think Andrade, if you look at it, is the first guy of Mexican heritage who is the coming from 4 white men, who does have the personality to pull off something like that. Because a lot of the guys who they could have pushed just didn't have the personality that Eddie did. Rey Mysterio is a great performer. He's never been a good promo, and he's never had like a very developed personality.
That's why
I think Angel Garza still could be that.
That's what I was saying, because Garza's probably the closest thing to Eddie.
Correctly.
He's probably the closest thing to Eddie we're ever going to get, because he's very good on the mic, and he has the skills.
Yeah. And Del Rio was, oh my God. People said he was a good talker. I do not understand where those people are coming from.
Yeah, no.
He was a good talker, but he just sounded confident, which is what really helped him.
And he was a fucking scumbag. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just got to throw that in there, man.
Yeah.
Whenever I get a chance. He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Hello,
like Ray.
Tito Ortiz.
Ray, as requested.
It's still real to me, damn it!
So did we ever answer the question?
Yeah, you guys did.
I just
yeah.
wanted to make sure we got the question answered.
I would say, yeah, we talked about the pipe bomb, but kind of just to touch on a little bit what we were talking about. And I think Rey Mysterio is he's such an underdog. Like Eddie was able to be dominant for his size at a time, but I don't think Rey's never really been dominant except when he was in the cruiserweight division a little bit on WCW, because obviously he's fighting the cruiserweights. But like when he had that opportunity against Lashley really recently, and the opportunity against Brock for the WWE Championship a while back, like those matches, no one thinks he's going to win just because he's not the type of superstar to be able to hold his own, unless he gets like a roll-up win or a surprise victory. Like
I don't know. I just feel like Eddie was a believable star. Like when he was the underdog with Brock, like people wanted Eddie to win.
Yeah,
Well, from someone who's a genuine fan of him, Chavo did not have much personality to it.
No.
Backstage stuff, like I've listened to a Chavo podcast recently. He really does, but I don't think he was ever really got a chance to put it across like on the mic at all. Because I've listened to a few podcasts of him recently, and he's a really interesting person. Like he's doing a lot of like producing matches and stuff now. But it was really interesting to listen to him. But I just don't think he ever got the chance to really put it through, like on the mic.
No, does he have a personality to like fill the void that Eddie left?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was never going to be Eddie.
Yeah.
Right.
No one's ever going to get as big as Eddie Guerrero.
No.
I'm not going to lie. Someday someone may surpass him in that market. Like, for a while, still no one said no one's ever going to become bigger than Hulk Hogan. That's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
That's not possible. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin came in, and they're like, well, it's possible.
Yeah.
Very awesome.
Would you say that Stone Cold's the biggest star ever in wrestling?
Yes.
Him or The Rock?
Because
Rock outside of wrestling.
Just because, like, if you want to talk about strictly within the world of wrestling, I think Stone Cold was a bigger star.
Yeah.
because he didn't really do as much. Because Rock has the big advantage that he's a movie star. Like everybody knows Rock at this point, but they know him more as Dwayne Johnson. I mean, it's 50-50. Like, I would say the biggest wrestling star ever, Stone Cold, but biggest wrestling. I don't know where I'm going with that. Biggest star ever is Rock, but he made himself outside of wrestling with all the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like Roman Reigns is a guy who has that ability. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Roman does the same path The Rock does. But he just has the look.
Here's the issue I am currently thinking about. They say they plan to turn Roman heel relatively after Tory begins. I think early next year is when they're saying they want to start trying to turn Roman face.
Why?
Right. That's just gonna.
It's like, I feel like this is one of those times like Roman's character should never go face again until he retires. Like, he should be a heel because it's not like
him being face is gonna turn him face. Like, him being heel is gonna turn him face naturally. Like, the fans are gonna cheer what he is.
I was gonna say like of course we don't know that because obviously we haven't had fans. But like once those live fans come back and people see the reaction like of they're cheering Roman, I hope the writers don't think like, oh, they wanted to be face, they're cheering him, because then people are gonna start booing him again if he turns face.
Yeah, because that's exactly right. Because like it's gonna be like The Rock. They had they brought him as Maya Villa, everyone hated it, so they turned him heel, and naturally they built one of their biggest faces ever that way too.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure the tribal chief has the ability like the Rock, the wrestling personality, to be a cocky face.
No, I think you're right on that.
Yeah, exactly. See, like The Rock his personality is what made him that cocky face. I don't think Roman has that personality. He has like that quiet personality where he like, since he's that tribal chief right now and he's like a heel, he doesn't have to talk much. He says few words in a very like monotone, lower tone. And like
what Roman fits himself is that he doesn't need to say his words. It's his body language what makes you feel like that he believes he's better than everybody else in the room, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is by far, I think we all agree in this. This is by far Roman's best work.
Yeah. Roman had a PG shirt like this, but if they turn Roman face, it needs to be arrive, fuck shit up, leave. Like, if you want to make him like a lone wolf character, like a bit more of a tweener, maybe that would work better.
Yeah. Just never put him back in a vest.
No.
I say that if I'm WWE, you just keep letting this tribal chief gimmick just run. Run.
Well,
you shuffle up the main event card on SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm saying if you want to insert a heel into the situation and have Roman become a tweener by proxy, not someone who's necessarily a babyface, but someone who does kick the ass of heels, like a really pompous heel, then I think you could possibly pull it off with Roman.
Maybe like a Rollins in a sense.
What I was kind of thinking there is like, say they both got the titles till come Survivor Series, Roman would very likely be the face going into a champion versus champion match with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you see Bobby being the champion till then?
I think it depends on who he fights in that time, because Kofi's not taking it off of him.
I feel like there's a lot of story left to tell. Like, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface really with Bobby.
No, because it's been the Drew show, even when Bobby was champion.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And speaking of what we were talking about with like the whole face thing, is that's happening in Drew right now. Everyone's kind of sick of him being this baby face. I think if they take Drew off for a while, turn him heel and bring him back, I think Drew could be a great heel because he's one of those dominant guys as well, and he has the look.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a heel when he first came to the main roster, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the issue when he first came to the main roster was he was always somebody else's henchman.
Yeah, like Ziggler, Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that was something they made a mistake there. Here's my thing right now. Drew was young and had the opportunity to make that mistake and still have time. Roman, like, he's still young enough to the point where if something goes wrong, you could still fix it. Lashley has another 2 years.
Yeah, Lashley doesn't.
Lashley is 43 years old, and he doesn't. And I know Edge is 47, but Edge has the body type for someone who could go into their 50s and possibly still wrestle. no one can be that jacked and be able to extend their body past maybe 46 for the wrestling business.
Yeah, I feel like they should just give Bobby this last run, just see what he can do with it, man. And at the end of it, you put somebody else new over. Like, they do not need to take Bobby Lashley's momentum and put over Drew. Drew's a star already. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I would say even the guy who wins Money in the Bank, make it a young guy and then have them cash in on Bobby and then have them feud. Like,
yeah,
like make a star out of that.
I was originally saying I thought Drew was going to win Money in the Bank, which, of course, for those that don't know, the way we're doing predictions is we're going to have 8 people competing with an assigned competitor in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And, like, to break kayfabe a little bit, we were giving Ray Drew because Drew seemed the most obvious. But now I think Riddle's going to win, so it's kind of looking like the person that I assigned Riddle might be challenging me next.
Nice. I see, like, personally, I'm kind of hoping Kevin Owens wins it. I know not even for, like, the predictions thing, but, like, if Kevin Owens wins it, I know he'll use that briefcase as his, like, to an advantage point and win that championship. And I'm not opposed to seeing Kevin Owens hold the WWE title again.
Yeah. I feel like Kevin Owens could be a real star still.
Yeah.
I know he's older, but I feel like we really never got the chance with him.
I use this as the vehicle to put over Biggie.
Yeah.
That's why I make Biggie a star out of this.
Yeah.
That'd be a good choice, too.
Yeah.
I feel like the best could be Riddle or Biggie. I feel like are the best two, in my opinion, future-wise.
I know.
But I think Riddle is – the thing is, I think Riddle is already proved enough because people think he's an MMA fighter, so he immediately comes out as a legit badass.
Yeah.
Like when someone has a background in something like MMA, they come out and they immediately have a sense of credibility to them, and they're almost immediately a main event level star just by nature of them being a natural badass because they.
I know this sounds random, but like Riddle kind of reminds me of like a Kurt Angle. Let me explain. You know how like Kurt Angle had that goofy style? I feel like it's very similar to Riddle. I feel like Riddle could be a very serious heel on the other hand too. Like I feel like they can make him a heel and make him very serious, and it would work.
Yeah. I can see that.
See, what I want from Matt Riddle is the same thing I got with Kurt Angle, which is I want someone who is so fun outside the ring, outside everything else. But the second that bell rings, they are a badass. They are like freaking deadly.
Like I think Riddle and Randy are the most one of the most entertaining things in wrestling right now. Definitely on Raw, but like even Riddle like fighting for Randy this past week.
Yeah.
He was all goofy outside the ring. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. Not last night, but and then when that bell rang, like he put it as all out there, like he really showed. Like I think they're really making Riddle a star, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah,
I agree as well. Like Riddle, he's got the comedic edge, but he's also good inside the ring. There was some damage done earlier this year when they just had Bobby squash him the night after Mania, but like all this stuff with Randy has undone all of that bad taste from the last one.
But see, that's the thing, though. Like, if they do this right, they can have him challenge again in a few months. And this time he holds up a fight, and like you almost call back to that night when he got squashed. He's like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not getting my ass kicked again. I am going to beat Bobby Lashley. Not necessarily have him win, but you know.
Yeah. Even if they do the Money in the Bank, you can keep doing this tag team with Riddle and Randy. If you want to have Randy eventually turn on him, make him more of even a face, and then you can have them feud over and let that build, and then eventually put him over Randy, and then he has so much momentum building with the Money in the Bank briefcase. When he finally cashes in, it could be TLC around that time, and he could carry that belt into Rumble. I mean, Rumble, Road to WrestleMania, basically. I don't know if they would really make him a champion going into Mania because I don't think Riddle's all that much of a draw yet, but I think he could be.
This is one of the few times I've actually liked Randy Orton as a babyface.
Yeah.
To me, Randy Orton, like, even when, like, this whole time he was feuding with The Fiend, I was like, but The Fiend naturally has to be the heel here. So Randy falls into the element of face, and Randy's not a babyface.
No, not at all.
Like, that's just not who he is. Let's be honest, he's a bit of an asshole in real life. Like, that's who he is.
He's realistically been a heel since like 2004, 2005 when he first came in the company.
Yeah,
they tried making him a face and it didn't work. That's why he dropped the world title.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first time.
Also, they pulled the trigger way too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That
what
maybe
should
should have been
happened-
Batista.
Yeah. Well, no. Like what should have happened realistically was like he stays in Evolution for a number of months as the world champion, and kind of becomes like a co-leader with Triple H, and you see the jealousy between them like go up and up and up and up, and then you
Slow
pull
burn.
the trigger. Yeah, slow burn on it, and then maybe at like Armageddon or Royal Rumble, that's when you do the turn. Triple H wins the Royal Rumble, however you want to do it, or maybe even have him win the belt back so you can do the grudge match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Get another Randy Orton Triple H WrestleMania match.
Because all the others are so good.
No, but they could have a good match.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've never seen a main event feud WWE has been so keen on for so long between two people that have no chemistry.
Randy and Triple H?
Yeah. I've never found their matches to be that exciting.
I'm just going to say this, though. I know everyone says the last man standing match between Edge and Randy Orton is excessive. And it is. But the concerto at the end of the match, I don't know why I thought this, is so hilarious to me. Because he takes so long to do it. He's like... and then he finally does it. And he almost like collapses crying himself. And I was like, that is the best way to sell that ever.
Yeah. Yeah. That match was excessively long.
And slow.
Yes. It wasn't like, I know it was like Edge's first, I think it was one of his first matches back.
It was his first singles match back, other than the Rumble.
And like, I don't know, it did feel like, I guess they had an advantage in the sense of, since it was in the Performance Center, they could slow it down because like he might not be able to last an actual 30-minute match at a time, like in the ring or around the arena if there were fans. But they definitely used it to their advantage. Yeah. I know one thing I'm looking forward to with fans coming back is they can't do Alexa Bliss's character really. With her,
they've kind of given up on that though. Like this week on Raw, she just came out to music, and that was it. Like they seem to have dropped the playground. They seem to have dropped the stupid doll.
I hope so because they gave her the Fiend's character.
Yep.
Why? Because Alexa is pretty.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what's next for the Fiend. If he comes back,
I think I'll come back as Bray Wyatt. Hopefully, I don't want him to come back just strictly as the Fiend. I even like I liked the Firefly Funhouse thing when he first came back. It was entertaining because he was like kind of a heel, but everyone like liked him. And then like when they started teasing the Fiend, I was like, what is that? It was actually kind of like creepy looking too.
it was the best idea they've had in wrestling in years, and it was just poorly executed.
Yep. It was good until he started going after the world title.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. Why does a character like that want a world title run?
Why does a creepy clown murderer want a belt?
Have you guys ever listened to the Fiend's full theme song?
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
have
did
it on my
today.
phone for a while.
Like, I wish they'd just play the end of that song. Because it's the best part of it.
The "I'm really sorry for what I did" part.
Yes.
I listened to that song today.
It helped you book.
Yeah.
For the
maybe
Really?
it gave me some energy to actually book Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I wrote the entire script for my upcoming How Zander Would Book the Fiend video today, so that was fun. Just to throw on that topic of the Fiend.
That's always a lot of fun. That video should be interesting.
Yeah, well, it's being saved till July 25th for a very important reason. I don't know
Your
what
birthday.
YouTube. Yeah, so this is gonna finally get some use.
Got no when to hold.
So what do you guys want to jump into next? Is it LS11 Universe talk time?
I'm actually gonna let you guys talk for like 5 minutes because I do have to go feed the cats because no one else is home. So you guys, let's see what the stoned out of his mind brain of Ray Wood's gonna come up with. Please don't leave me with 5 minutes of silence to edit out, guys.
Okay.
Go.
So anyway, communist theory.
Interesting.
Xander comes back. I'm talking. He goes, "Okay, guys, listen. The capital system functions to keep people away from the means of production. Okay." The only reason I know any of these sentences is because I went on a date with a girl and she turned out to be a communist, like a favorite communist. It was just hyping up communism the whole time.
That's attractive.
Yeah, the number one quality looking for in a girl. Does she like communism?
Hey.
All right, so well, I guess we can all talk about this when he gets back too. But the Great American Bash tonight, like NXT Great American Bash.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Thoughts?
So, yeah,
Karrion Kross losing?
I doubt he loses.
So.
No
I think
chance.
they're building to Joe, and Joe's going to take the belt off him, and Karrion Kross is going to go up.
They're either building to Joe or Dunn's going to do it in the future.
But Joe isn't even cleared to wrestle yet.
Not yet.
I know. I think they're really trying hard to get that boy in shape.
Yeah, between that and also like rumor has it he's getting closer to be cleared.
Yeah,
but wasn't the reason?
Yo, get in the tank with the oxygen.
Wasn't it because of concussions he wasn't cleared?
Yeah. No, I think he's doing like the same like oxygen therapy Daniel Bryan was doing.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I think he does look like he's gained a lot of weight though.
Well, I mean, he probably hasn't worked.
To be fair, everyone was in quarantine.
Yeah, and along with that, Joe probably wasn't actively seeking out an in-ring contract because they probably told him that's not going to happen. So he wasn't working towards that because he didn't think it was a possibility.
Well, I know he got released originally because they wouldn't clear him.
Yeah.
So that's why he wanted to leave.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's getting older, and he hasn't he isn't known for taking good care of himself. AJ Styles is ageless because he does DDP yoga.
I love Samoa Joe though, man. I want to see him one more run at least.
Yeah.
Then get him doing DDP yoga. That's the key, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Samoa Joe, world champion, and LS11 here soon, eh? I hope so.
We're talking about
Did you hear
yoga.
what I said the second you left?
Yes, I did. I thought you saw me in the little screens down there flip you off when you said it.
So communist theory.
So you guys want to dive into TLC?
Yeah.
Oh, well, don't go chasing waterfalls. Just stick to the rivers. Oh, not that TLC. You meant LS11 Universe. Got it. Gregtree got it. So, this is, for those that are watching this for free for the first time ever, this is what we do on the shows after pay-per-views. We dive into each of the matches. We break them down just a little bit, talk about why they ended the way that they did, and some of the scrap things that would have happened otherwise.
Finished watching the show yet?
What?
Has Mada finished watching the show yet? As he choose?
I was
Nope,
going to say,
still in the
because
Cesaro Daniel Bryan match.
Because when you were in the Discord and you were giving ratings, you gave like the first 3, and I was like, oh, where are the rest of them?
Yeah, good question.
I haven't finished it yet.
I mean, he knows who wins the matches. It's fine. Because
I know the results.
I posted the scores, which, fun fact about Masters of the Universe, we have both the first and last place player in this call right now.
Okay, I missed the TLC deadline, and that's my fault. I forgot to put it in. Because I usually wait until the day before because I want to watch the shows leading up because that usually gives at least a decent idea. I know when you open like the next one up immediately after, I'm like, I don't want to guess then because I don't watch the shows leading up. But yeah,
Right.
I just forgot.
So, the first thing we started off with was El Generico defending the United States Championship against what we only knew was going to be a a surprise opponent, someone never before seen in the LS11 universe. Which is why half of the people that predicted Kevin Owens was going to be his opponent.
I was really close to picking Kevin Steen.
A lot of people went with Kevin Steen as well. Of course, it did end up being LA Knight, as everyone saw. But yes, Kevin Owens and Kevin Steen were the two most popular answers. We also had Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, and Aleister Black.
Someone didn't read it all the way.
Yeah, a couple people didn't.
Still first
Here's a
place, so it
list
doesn't
of
matter.
Everyone Sami Zayn has ever had a match with in universe.
And I just want to say, I'm not last place. I am tied for second to last.
Oh,
Matthew
okay.
is in last place with 3 points. I have 6 points. So I'm tied with DJ Danger and Nick Taylor.
Okay, yeah.
So
Mada's got that top spot locked down, at least until TakeOver Portland. Well, we will see where scores lie when that comes out next weekend. But anyway.
Came back too.
So, obviously, LA Knight being El Generico's opponent, I'm sure a lot of people probably would think, oh, well, that was the plan all along, wasn't it? No.
No. See, I was planning a run for LA Knight, and then I just texted Zander, why don't we have him beat Sami Zayn and become U.S. champion his first night?
And then I was like, but Ray, how would he beat Sami Zayn? El Generico's the U.S. champion, not Sami Zayn.
Fuck it. Anyway.
So, yes, it was actually supposed to be Andrade that won the U.S. title at TLC.
Yeah.
And
You
there
know
was
so many bleeps in this.
Nah. There was actually there was a point in time, pretty much up until the day of recording the episode, where Kevin Owens was going to attack El Generico to cost him the U.S. title. But I realized we've had a lot of U.S. titles, not like a U.S. title matches, end with weird finishes lately.
U.S. title's been the king of open challenges.
Yeah, this is literally the second time in a row that the U.S. title has changed hands in the opening contest in an open challenge. So maybe
I haven't done many open challenges in our universe. We recently did Last Brawl was an open challenge. Bobby Lashley held one.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I made a whole gimmick out of it.
Yes, because of the penalty that Stone Cold is giving Lashley for brutalizing Adam Cole with chairs.
Yeah. So the second time in the PNT wrestling universe that somebody has been murdered.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, cut Steve Austin giving unprotected headshots to Mick Foley at the Royal Rumble.
Just Bobby texts him that clip captioned, "This you."
Hey man, he's a changed man.
Yeah.
I regret
hope
turning Cactus Jack's brains into jelly. That was a real mistake on my part.
He's still functioning. It's okay.
Unlike
Whenever he moves his leg, his jaw opens. But that's the price we pay.
or Mick Foley. It's impossible not to love Mick Foley.
I know.
I'm glad we've gotten to do one Mick Foley match in LS11.
It was Mankind, right?
Yes, it was. We actually did 2 Mick Foley matches because Dude Love had a match as well.
Is he 0-2?
My idea, because I'm me.
No, he's actually 1 for 1 because Dude Love beat Firefly Funhouse Bray by disqualification.
That's funny.
When the Fiend attacked Dude Love.
Hopefully we'll get to see him again.
Probably down the road. Maybe not as a competitor, but he'll no doubt be on the show again down the road. I mean, he's the one that revealed Damian Sandow as the Raw GM because he thought he was supposed to be the Raw GM.
We haven't used any legends yet on our side of things. I mean, minus Stone Cold and Kurt Angle as GMs.
Yeah.
But we are also only 3 months in, so
Yeah, we've already had one pay-per-view kind of together.
yeah.
We had some odd choices for general manager.
Ray, we don't really get to talk. Damian Sandow says we don't get to talk. Christian also
I said we had some odd
Okay, I thought you said they had odd choices with Stone Cold.
No.
I was going to say, no, because Austin and Angle are like pretty solid choices. Like, that makes
It's
sense.
actually they've both actually been GMs before.
Yeah.
I didn't know Kurt has. Oh yeah, I'm an idiot.
I was like, Kurt was GM more recently.
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Even Baron Corbin's a GM.
Meanwhile, we had Damian Sandow, Christian, William Regal, Wade Barrett, and now just Triple H.
I'm glad you guys use authority figures, though. I personally feel like there should be an authority figure. I feel like WWE needs to get back to that.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of doing a decent job with Adam Pearce, but he hasn't really been on air recently. I think he was on air once on SmackDown, like in the last 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
The key is don't make them a character. I don't want a heel GM.
I just want Teddy Long. Player, you're going one-on-one with The Undertaker.
I just want William Regal to run everything, all 3 shows.
Samoa Joe gets to come with into all 3 shows. Just chokes out
All 3 shows are now named War Games.
War Games.
War Games!
War Games!
Okay, this might just be me, but I literally just thought of this.
What?
It's such a shame that they only brought War Games back for NXT. Because could you imagine if we had gotten the Shield inside of War Games?
That would be pretty damn cool.
That would have been
Shield
cool.
versus UE. Only 3 members though.
Mada, you don't tempt me with things that I can't have.
Shield versus UE versus Finn and the Good Brothers in a 9-man War Games match. Picture of Randy from South Park.
Jesus. It'd be insane.
New Day, bro. Throw New Day in there too. Make it a freaking fatal 4-way.
12 man.
Gosh, there was ghosts. It's ectoplasm.
Okay, so
Anyway,
on to the second match of TLC, 40 minutes into the podcast. Drew McIntyre challenged Adam Cole for the World Heavyweight title. So, fun little fact, this was actually supposed to be the Survivor Series match. John Cena was not supposed to win that matchup to get Cole at Survivor Series. Drew was supposed to win the Fatal 4-Way, but I was playing as Drew in that match, and Brian tapped me out, and I was like, well, we'll just see who wins, and we'll go with either of these options. And then Cena won.
wow.
And so and it was supposed to be Brian challenging here at at TLC, and Drew was supposed to be challenging at the Rumble. So everything just kind of got flipped around. So yeah, Drew just got named number 1 contender, and here we are. And it was a good little quick 10-minute match.
Yeah, it was.
Let's be honest, no one thought Drew was actually winning.
I think like 2 people predicted him, just because you always gotta. There's always gonna be someone who's gonna be like, well, if no one else thinks it's gonna happen and it happens, I'm gonna get the point that no one else gets.
Yeah.
I don't see Adam Cole losing the belt anytime soon, personally.
Time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah.
Let's see. That jumped into the triple threat ladder match. UE versus New Day versus DIY. Not much to say here other than New Day was originally going to be the Hurt Business, but Hurt Business had fought Undisputed Era so much in Season 2 already that I just didn't want to again.
That's fair.
So I wanted to do something new with New Day.
Yeah, I've been struggling with my tag division, but I think I finally, in the last couple nights, have finally figured it out.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Discord last night. You had pitched a couple ideas to me, and I was like, yes, do that. Do all of that.
I had to go pick up and make some more tag teams, but after I did that, it made my division a little bit deeper. It
also helped me create.
I love that. I love when I get a text. I get a text at 1 a.m. with like 10 superstars. Like, hey, I'm picking these guys up. I'm like, oh, okay. So
That is
similar
to what Zander does sometimes.
So then I sent him a list this morning of like 6 to 8 superstars, and I'm like, I'm getting these guys.
Oh man.
So
there's a whole Season 3 thing I haven't told Ray about yet. Mada knows about it because I told him the idea the other night. It has to do with a certain brand coming to LS11 Universe. I haven't talked to Ray.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off air, Ray.
Okay.
So yeah, next up was Charlotte versus Rhea. We're gonna cover this as quickly as the match went. Literally, I realized as Charlotte was making her way to the ring, oh shit, WWE has done this like 12 times. Let's make this quick.
Murder.
So 40 minutes later.
Imagine.
Yeah, the chat was not happy that Charlotte was getting a title match that night.
Oh, can you imagine how they would have felt if you put the title on her?
I always get worried about that because I like Charlotte as a wrestler. I don't like her as a character.
Uh-huh.
I think she's good, and there's a lot of people like that. Like I think they're really good in the ring. They've just never connected for me as a wrestler.
Has she ever won a title in LS?
She has not, and if she ever does, it would probably be tag team because nobody would care.
That's fair.
Because the women's tag titles, I've confirmed several times, are coming in season 3. Let's see.
We don't even have a women's division, so you're doing better than us.
Yeah.
Let's see. Up next was Dijakovic and Roderick Strong for the IC title. The game straight up crashed during their entrances every time I recorded it, so we just ended up not having their entrances, and I felt kind of bad for that. It was a weird moment.
I actually like that. I like that match a lot. I thought it was very fast paced.
Yeah, it was a nice change of pace from the other end.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked really well.
Like
And
I think
Charlotte Flair going through the side of the table.
Hey, she went through the announce table afterwards. It's fine. I actually did that entirely because I thought the table break was so underwhelming that I was like, okay, we need something here, and had Rhea beat her up even more.
Put her through the table!
I think. So I announced on Discord, and I announced it actually on Raw yesterday or Monday as well, that Rhea Ripley's opponent for the Royal Rumble is going to be announced on Monday of next week. And I can't give it away, obviously, but like she beat Alexa Bliss this week, so it's obviously not going to be Bliss. But I think Ripley's opponent for the Rumble is going to surprise a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited for it.
I'm excited for it.
Let's see. But yeah, I agree with you on that one, Gregtree. Dijakovic and Strong was very fast-paced and fun. Like, Dijakovic's definitely got a big future on the main roster. Mm-hmm. I think maybe I called him up a little too soon. But at the same time, his time was naturally up in NXT, and Ray, you didn't have much for him at that point, right?
I was going to probably have him in the title mix for a bit.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about that. Whoops.
I was going to, have him competing for the World Championship, but you're right. That's nothing compared to feuding with Roderick Strong on the third match of a B-Show pay-per-view.
Hey, look, Ray, I don't need that sass today. I didn't ask for that.
I will not accept it. I will not accept your abuse any longer, Ray. I am a strong, independent woman who can impress the board and please her man.
What? Anyway, moving on.
No, it's a line from American Dad. It's like, I'm a strong, sexy woman who can impress the board and please her man.
Okay, so moving on.
Moving on to probably my favorite match of the night.
Cesaro and Bryan.
It was a really good match, and I
feel
feel like
that match was so good.
And they're just like even like IRL and even you're like in the game and how you played it, the chemistry was insane.
It was like I never wanted that match to end while I was playing it.
The way it flowed was so well too.
Right, and I think that was probably the most unpredictable match of the night.
Yeah, when it got to the last about 5 minutes, I had no idea who was going to win.
Yeah, like even in recording it, I was like, honestly, if Cesaro wins, I think we'll roll with Cesaro Cole for the Rumble, and we'll reevaluate what we're doing on the road to Mania.
Which, I mean, speaking, I actually wanted to ask you guys a question. Have you ever had a championship change hands accidentally and rolled with it? Yes,
actually. So it was Shayna Baszler's SmackDown Women's title reign. It wasn't actually supposed to happen. No Mercy. It was actually booked to be Banks versus Lynch for the SmackDown title at No Mercy. Shayna won the #1 contenders match, and I was like, we'll just have Becky go over Shayna gracefully. And I was like, but we stuck a lot of losses to Shayna after she lost to Rousey. So I let Shayna get the countout win, And I was like, and she can beat Becky the next month. So Shayna got a whole title run she wasn't supposed to have. Which was in part because I decided having Becky at this point is a little unfair if we're trying to be realistic.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, so she's roughly going to be out about the amount of time. When she returns in real life, that's kind of when I will start the timer of when we can have her back in universe. So yeah, that's no Sami Zayn rolling up Drew McIntyre, but
yeah, but it worked for a time. It gives Sami Zayn a nice little 20-day reign.
Like, there's some booking though where like I maybe would kill Zander if he ever texted me, "Hey buddy, the NXT Championship just changed hands accidentally on a roll up," and I just kind of rolled with it.
Oh yeah, I'd never do that.
I know, but like, could you imagine if you did? Like, I would have been like, "I'll kill you!"
Yeah, so Tyler Bate just rolled up Pete Dunne to take over Brooklyn. Tyler Bate's NXT champion now.
Oh my god, can you imagine like an impromptu open challenge? Like just some random or someone like AJ Styles like rolls up Dunne. Because Dunne holds an open challenge and AJ's like, oh well, I've been doing this. I'll answer it.
Some booking that never happened in the original universe.
What was that?
That was part of some booking that never happened in the original universe. It's something I booked, but we never did it.
Oh yeah, I can't remember exactly what you mean, but I kind of remember it.
Bobby Roode is supposed to lose the NXT Championship on regular TV in
That's
a
right.
situation in an open challenge.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember exactly who was supposed to beat him too, and then Roode was just going to win it back from him at the takeover.
Yep. And we aren't going to mention who is supposed to beat him.
I'll leave context clues without saying their name. They were the first cruiserweight champion of the 205 Live era, but they've been accused of some things, so we don't talk about them.
A real scumbag, eh?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to Sasha Banks versus Toni Storm.
In these waters.
Yeah. Moving on to Sasha Banks versus Toni Storm for the SmackDown title. That was just a matter of Toni needed an opponent. I think we can all kind of see that that's what that was. It's not Sasha's time in LS11 just yet. She'll be a champion one day, I'm sure.
But Zander, when is it coming?
You'll never know.
Give us the exact date and time.
February 30th at 25:02 p.m.
Sounds good. I'll be there in the premiere.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're going on to the match that I think had my favorite finish next, and that was the Usos versus the Messiahs.
It was, yeah, I would say it was definitely like a finish that I didn't see coming. But then, yeah, it was like an out of nowhere finish, which I was pleasantly surprised about.
Is this the Shane Thorne one?
Yeah, where Rollins literally picked Shane Thorne up so he could tag him because Shane Thorne was dead.
See, I'm not that far in the pay-per-view yet.
Right. I was a little conflicted when it happened. I was like, how is that going to Fenwell when Rollins literally also knocked Thorne off of a turnbuckle, like when I think it was Jay that was in front of him, or I can't remember if it was Jay or Jimmy, but one of the Usos was on top of him, and then Rollins jumped into the turnbuckle on both of them, and Shane Thorne ended up being down when Rollins went for the elbow drop or splash.
Right.
That's what he did.
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is we've tried to establish this, and I think I've been the one that's written more of this, and Ray has managed to kind of work it with commentary better for me. With Shane Thorne is more of an underling to Rollins than Murphy ever was, because Thorne follows the orders, whereas Murphy was kind of like, I don't know about all this the whole time they were doing things. So Shane Thorne is like, oh, you need to use me as a weapon? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chuck me further, sir.
I haven't lost any teeth yet, sir. Are you sure I'm doing it right? Oh, man. And then we come up to the match that had the most change on the card, and that's Mustafa Ali versus Apollo Crews versus Ricochet versus Murphy versus Bobby Roode. A fatal 5-way TLC match for the WWE Championship. This match had a lot of changes. Ricochet was still supposed to be in NXT at this point. Samoa Joe was supposed to be in the match, not Mustafa Ali. It was supposed to be Joe, Ali, or it was supposed to be Joe, Cruz, Riddle, and Rude to begin with, actually. But then Joe got released, so we put Ali in there. I decided Riddle had already fought for the title enough times in the last few months, so I put Murphy in there instead. And then Ray offered me Ricochet. So,
Hey, super random. Gregtree, where'd you get that shelf at?
I don't know. It was in my basement. I had it for the longest time.
I want to get one to go behind me to put all my figures, because all my figures are in like this just drawer behind me, like all my wrestling stuff. All my like figures what are opened.
Zander has those cheap media shelves behind him. Those are multiple shelves.
yeah, that's 3 different bookshelves from behind me.
Like, here's Rollins. He's the one I got the most figures of, but like yeah, like I just have all these figures in here.
I think the most I have is Finn Balor. I think I have 6 Finn Balors.
AJ Styles with his arms almost broken because he's been sitting in a shelf for 3 months. I mean, in a drawer. Sorry, this is super random, but
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
You're good.
Kurt Angle. But yeah, like I definitely want to invest in one of those.
But yeah, so with that main event, just to kind of wrap up there, I feel like there was no doubt who was winning the main event, no matter who was in it.
Yeah, Bobby Roode's his time is not up yet. He's still going.
Although Mada seems very dead set, and I haven't heard Gregtree's opinion here, but Mada is very convinced that Seth Rollins is taking that championship at the Royal Rumble when they have their match.
He is, man.
That I could see it happening due to an interference, but I don't know about straight up. Rude's been on a roll.
Yeah,
I don't know
Rude
at that time.
retains,
Oh,
So
if he retains, he'll become the longest reigning.
yep, he's currently because he's guaranteed to make it to the Rumble. He's not defending before the Rumble. So at the Rumble, he ties Balor. If he retains that night, there's no money in the bank to stop him. He will overtake Finn Balor as the longest reigning world champion, WWE champion.
Well then,
That would be a huge accomplishment, considering that you've been going 2 seasons, about to be in your third come following Mania. So I mean, to be the
how many
longest
days
reigning
will it
champion.
technically be?
Let me pull up the records here. Forgot I didn't have that tab open.
I just think it's finally Rollins' turn back on top again.
Well, time will tell. So, come the Royal Rumble, Rude will be on day 140.
Our longest reigning champions are both at 74 days right now, and it's Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns tied.
Yep.
Tell us about the day numbers for your WWE champions.
All right, 1 second. Kevin Owens is actually the longest reigning WWE champion.
Well, that's
already.
good. That's good.
Already.
It didn't take long.
And there have been 3, so
I mean, NXT champions, we've only had 3, and Adam Cole has that longest reign locked down right now.
I think Pete Dunne can beat it.
How long will that know?
You mean Walter?
Oh yeah. So I forgot the change chance.
Yeah, so Adam Cole had it for 300. Mada and I did the math last night, actually, of what a calendar year in universe looks like. I gotta pull it up real quick. So that
I
would
think
be
it was 336, right?
correct, 336. So less than 20 days off of an actual 28 days off of a real world year.
Okay, so I have the official WWE Championship history. Drew McIntyre held it for 14 days, Sami Zayn 20, and Kevin Owens 38 as of now. Down horrendous.
Yep.
I mean, I think the U.S. title is our worst. I don't know. The North American title, just kind of my own fault. Up until recently, the North American title had a lot of holders. Again, that was my fault.
Cross is coming up on a year, right? Or pretty close.
Not quite a year, but Cross come Portland should be coming up on 200 days, I think.
Zander, he named that Kyle O'Reilly champion, right? Off Roger Strong, give it to someone else. Put it back on Kyle. Put it back on the UE through Kyle O'Reilly because you demanded someone play electric guitar with a belt.
You always plan for Alexander Wolf to win it, though.
I would have changed my mind on that.
It would have been too late. I've already had it recorded at that point. But yeah, so like North American title, Strong had it for 98 days. Alexander Wolf and Kyle O'Reilly both got 56. Dijakovic had 112, and Karrion Kross is coming up on 200.
Yep.
Let's see here. Unfortunately, we've not gotten any more Discord or Twitter questions yet.
Dang.
I even put it in my Discord. It's so dead in there nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of just, it's a Tuesday, you know?
That is true.
It's Tuesday. There's nothing going on.
Nope. I don't even know what I'm doing after I stop this.
I'm making food.
That's a good idea.
I
That's a real good idea.
gorged before this podcast. I just made waffles, but I ate them fast.
I might drive back into town to get dinner. It's just me tonight. Like I walked in the door and my dad was like, "What are you doing?" I thought you were going to your grandparents tonight. I was like, "No, that's tomorrow. That's when the package that has the next competitor for the ladder match arrives." He shipped himself to me. I have to go pick him up tomorrow.
Oh, great!
Yeah. So yeah, we have two of the 8 competitors in the chat, and we got the 2 people competing over the predictions title in the thing here too. How about that?
Hooray.
Yeah. I walked in the door, and my dad was like, "I thought you were eating with your grandparents tonight." "No, that's tomorrow, Dad." He's like, "Oh, well, your brother's going out with his mom, your stepmom's working late, and I've got to go teach a class." I said, "Oh, so I should just go fuck myself then?" He's like, "Yeah, much."
Oh joy!
They are this way while they communicate.
Yeah, that's just how we communicate.
Well, I mean, if it gets the point across, then it works.
Exactly.
One day the podcast come out where we discuss that dinner.
Probably. That will be after I'm living on my own. Because I prefer to not get kicked out.
Just so you know, at one point I said, "Wow, this reminds me of what life was like at home." Except, everyone has a shirt on.
Right. I had my shirt back on at that point.
Yep.
So, on Brenner at Mada, Gregtree, any questions you guys have that are just eating away at you?
What are we going to be seeing in the future of LS11 here coming up?
Well, let's see. CM Punk is going to return. He's going to challenge Chris Benoit to a matchup for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Hulk Hogan's going to special guest referee it.
Brother.
Okay, but if I'm going to be actually serious,
John Cena's returning to NXT and beating Valter.
In all seriousness, though, I mean, we got TakeOver Portland next week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I have it uploaded already, obviously, because I had to clear off space on the computer. So let me look at the card on it to remember what the card is.
Will we be seeing any other series coming up on LS11 here soon?
The SVR v Carnold is what the thumbnail says, but Carnold's run through the career mode of 07 SVR is going to be returning probably next week. He and I sat down yesterday and recorded like 6 episodes. And then as for new series, nothing that I can think of right now. I know
Is the podcast coming to public view?
This episode is a bit of a preview, just to try and get some new backers on Patreon, just because we're trying to get up to the point where we can do a Patreon exclusive universe. And Ray and I did come to a decision. I know a lot of people are like AEW when we say we're going to do a Patreon universe mode. We've kind of decided that's not going to be an option anymore for some decisions we've made for content that will be on the main channel soon.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like a retro.
I gotta go for a second, guys. If you wrap it up, fine. I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, we'll take you off the screen. Okay, I removed you already. Okay, there we go. Welcome to a recording session, boys. But yeah, so like that's coming. That's coming back. When we do the Patreon exclusive universe, it is going to be like once a week. It may be every other week, just depending. And we've decided the way it's going to work is it's going to be like it's either going to be a retro time period or a retro company, like 2006 Ring of Honor is one I thought about. Where you've got Chris Hero, you got Tyler Black, you got El Generico, all those kind of guys.
That'd be pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, but Ray's leaning towards WCW. I'm leaning towards Invasion Attitude Era. I think I can fix the Invasion.
We definitely want to start getting some more stuff on our channel, more content.
Right.
Especially if there's longer gaps between Universe Mode episodes, we want to have something in between to fill there. Some content, some consistent post.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
And that's why I put like in the in our chat the one day about doing a potential micro, because it's like it's simple, you just record it, and you really don't have to do much editing. And
you should do a Road to WrestleMania.
Road to WrestleMania would be cool. I have all the old games, so if anything, I'd probably do 11 if you don't do it.
No, that's all you. The only thing I would want to do on 11 is maybe a Universe Mode.
11 has some good Road to WrestleManias. I used to do 11.
I used to do Christians all the time.
Christians
is
my
favorite.
I would do Christians, or I would do. Was it? I can't remember if it was the Undertakers. I think it was the Undertakers.
Is that the one with the 2-player one with John Cena and Triple H?
That's 10. I just did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. We definitely need to get some more content on the channel, man.
Yeah. Work and stuff.
We suck.
Makes me nice and busy.
Yeah, I need to start working. I need more money. Just give me money.
I don't need more money. I buy shit like that, like all of this.
Yeah, I want more money.
I mean, most of mine is packed up and in storage right now, as you can see.
I don't know. I think we should make a Patreon, but I don't know when we would, like what milestone it would be if we were having.
We did it at 100, which was a little early for us, but we had such dedicated fans already.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 1,000, maybe. I don't know. Even if we'll ever do one, I wouldn't mind it.
I think especially with that is we need to make enough content for the main channel first.
Yeah, Patreon content is a struggle. Yeah. Like, I completely missed out on the Patreon side series Universal Flashbacks last month just because every day. Last month was not a good month for me. Every day I would come home and would just go to bed because I had so much to do every day during June. It was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, June was definitely a busy month.
Yeah, and so for those curious, we're at $40 a month on Patreon right now, and at $45 a month, which means just one $5 or $10 backer, Carnold is going to do his first ever bit of commentary, commentating this match exclusively on Patreon.
Oh yeah, that someone needs to buy in right now because I want to see that match.
Also, with He Who Shall Not Be Named. I will leave a little tease because Matt is asking what's coming up on LS11. I won't tell you how it happens. I won't tell you what happens. We are 25 days away from me finally saying his name. It's finally happening.
That's crazy.
I will finally
acknowledgement.
I will finally acknowledge the guy that is not Heath Slater or Drew McIntyre, but was the other one in 3MD. The worst one of
hinder on who?
Yeah, you can't hinder who you don't know.
Exactly.
He's sitting although it's funny. Last night Mada was in Discord. Mada and I sat in Discord and just chatted a lot lately. We were talking win-loss records the other night because for those that don't know, because people ask about it all the time, there is a comprehensive win-loss record in the description of every episode. There's a link to it in the description of this channel. And Mada asked about He Who Shall Not Be Named's record. And Mada guessed he was like 2 for 18, I think is what you guessed. Nope. He is 0 for 32.
Oh my God, is it total?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, season 2, he is 0 for 18.
Jesus. Poor guy.
I love the way you guys have your records set up. It looks so clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how it's turned out. One kind of fun detail we noticed in the records as well is because he's probably never coming back unless he comes back to WWE. Aleister Black's final record in the LS11 universe is 21-1.
That's pretty cool.
He's a freak.
And it ended at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
So that's just perfect.
Because he never had a match in season 2.
No, he did not. He would have been WWE champion. He would have been returning pretty soon if he hadn't been released as well. Like, we finally had his return all planned out, and that'll be something to talk about in 2 months after WrestleMania on the WrestleMania Fallout stream. It's going to be a busy week for us come WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to try to free up some time to be there as much as possible.
I mean, you'll be there in spirit because you guys are commentating the pre-show for me.
That's a good point. Can't wait.
Which it's more going to be like you two, Ray, and my cousin Mania Del Zander, because I'm going to be backstage the whole time. I got to organize everything. Like Regal, Triple H, and I, and all the other fucking people in talent relations are going to be back there doing all the work. So it'll be you guys, Ray, and Mania Del Zander. And then like the pre-show match will just be you two.
But
Hey, Ray.
Sounds good.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. What's the
Ray,
discussion?
you got anything? We were talking win-loss records. We were talking the kind of what WrestleMania week is going to look like for all of us this year.
Yeah,
for all
we
you
have to
others.
record that pre-show.
You guys do. I
we
don't
don't think we'll be on our side of things. I don't think we're going to make it to Mania before the next game.
Unless we're gonna put 3 episodes out a week.
Yeah,
Consistently.
only idiots would put out 3 episodes a week.
I'm not sure what we're going to do. I would rather be paced and not
It'd be
mess
ahead as
up
well.
1 week and get screwed, and then I don't want our first pay-per-view on the new game to be on Mania, to be Mania.
Right. Makes sense to me.
If anything, it would be nice to be at whatever we're gonna do after Rumble. So that February pay-per-view to be there, so like Rumble just happens. You could build the WrestleMania on the next game.
Because right now we're 2 weeks into November, so
A long ways to go.
Yeah, because I don't know what month you guys are doing your Mania in. I don't know if you're doing it in March or April. But
I think we decided April, right?
Yeah, because February and March we have brand exclusives.
Makes sense. But yeah, like when it's brand exclusives, it makes sense. But like for us, where we just have dual branded pay-per-views, it wouldn't make sense for us to do Fastlane and Chamber. Like somebody asked me in the TLC premiere, they were like, what pay-per-views are left until Mania? Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber. Where's Fastlane? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah. I think that's a dumb pay-per-view in general.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Fastlane. Then they had Roadblock. End of the line.
Roadblock and Fastlane used to take place in Cleveland, though.
Yeah.
They would do it
Yeah,
every
but
year.
that was like it's. No, but it was like Roadblock. Here's a recorded house show. Is it so you can put the belt on Dean and make an actual good main event for WrestleMania? No. Just to make you pissed off again.
Yep.
Like I don't know, like that pissed me off so bad in 2016. I was like, so you said, hey guys, here's an idea for a really cool match at WrestleMania, but you're not getting it.
You don't deserve it. You've been bad.
Yeah. You booed the dog.
Just like children, you want this. Just like children want discipline.
That's a little dark right there, right?
Don't panic, Zander. I won't do anything to you you weren't expecting.
That's when he has
Not enough alcohol in my system for this.
and that's when he
You
said
know when someone says to you, I won't do anything that's not expected.
So a little fun thing here. So for those that don't know, because I haven't formally announced this yet, July 25th, 2021 is when the next episode of How Xander Would Book is coming out. We're still waiting on the next episode of How Ray Would Book. But July 25th is my 21st birthday, and at midnight is when that video is going to drop instead of 11 a.m. Because there's going to be a joke about that at the beginning. There's going to be a lot of alcohol involved in How Xander Would Book the Fiend. And I wrote the full script today already, and I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna tell you guys how many words it is without telling you anything.
Okay, my how I would book Kane video is so long, dude.
And I have to edit it, so
It is going to be probably over 45 minutes.
We have not gone down that route of trying to do more IRL WWE stuff. We want to start doing predictions and stuff like that.
See, when we were talking about the how we would book, we almost talked about using the game and making those matches and having snippets of it.
Yeah.
So if we went back and did it, and I know one we were talking about was how we'd book CM Punk's championship reign, how it wouldn't end with The Rock because it didn't need to. And that was one of the things that we would do. We would go back and use the actual old 2K or WWE 13, or we would actually just use 2K 19 or 20 and just make characters or whatnot.
Right. So, How Xander Would Book the Fiend is 8 pages long, 4,397 words.
Jesus.
And I will just read you one quote from it. And that one quote is, one of the only high school books I actually enjoyed. Shout out to my senior year high school teacher. I'm sure if she saw this video of me using a book she forced me to read to rewrite a wrestler while drowning my sorrows in whiskey, she'd be very proud of me.
Every teacher's dream.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really excited for that video.
Yeah, you're the one that suggested it too, because I needed something to do and no one was giving me anything that sounded good.
Guys, secretly all my bookings based off Dune.
The crazy thing is you could do an Andrade one now.
That's true. Although I might save that one for Ray. That might be a Ray reboot.
There are a lot of guys, especially released superstars. You do Braun Strowman. You could do Aleister Black.
The Christ figure.
Braun Strowman's easy. He beats Brock Lesnar at No Mercy. Done.
And proceeds to do progressively more and more insane shit.
How I would book Finn Balor. One, don't get hurt.
There is a how Ray would book Braun Strowman thing out there. It's just not on the channel anymore because I did it live and it fell up, and the first half was terrible. The second half was okay. And that's when I booked Braun Strowman doing more and more progressively insane things.
So that video
At one point, I had Braun stopping a speeding car.
I don't remember. So I watched this live stream. So this live stream is unlisted because it's one of our most disliked videos on the channel. And that's why I unlisted it, because
it's awful. I'm sorry. But anyway.
It's the only video that I had no hand in as well on the channel.
Yeah. Xander likes to say that a lot to drag me down. But anyway.
No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, he's trying to kick me in the balls here. Make me look bad.
Now that is not a lie.
Because he's going to resent it when I win Best Commentator.
Why do you think we're introducing Best Commentator, Ray?
Yes.
Technically, Best Commentator is going to be a 3-way race. Actually, technically, it would be 4-way because these guys would have been in Season 2 at that point.
Ooh. Imagine if one of us would. We commentate a pre-show.
Buy one of you a trophy if you win it.
Pre-show. Oh, I need to snip that.
It's already looking like Mada's going to be getting one of these in the mail in a couple of months. I better see it in the background of your videos.
Gotta throw it on that shelf.
I want to redo this for a backdrop and start making some live cam videos.
Yeah, it's getting close to me having my own actual office that's not my bedroom, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I don't have one of those.
We're kind of making a studio type area in his new place.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little different from how I originally planned because the Ethernet port is in a different part of the house than I thought it was gonna be.
Where really?
Yeah, it's actually in the living area is where the Ethernet port in the wall is, but I might just get a really long cable and tape it down.
I think that would be your move.
You could do that, or even if it's close enough, if you want to drill holes, you can put it through the wall, as long as you don't go through any insulation. But
it's on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
So like
I also saw these things recently where too you can they're almost like splitters. You can plug it into the wall and you connect it to your Wi-Fi, and then you plug into an outlet, and then you plug the Ethernet cable into that in that room to your computer.
Oh well.
It's supposed to have like the same speed as it would be if it was hardwired.
What you should do is you should get like an Ethernet port that's also like a USB thing, where you plug it in and it gives you more Ethernet cables because they have that now.
Well, there's 2 Ethernet slots in the wall already.
Yeah, but you can like use one for like a router for a range extender, so you can have better wireless.
Yeah.
And just connect the other one to like your main computer, so you have a hard line into the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, streaming scares me in this new house because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the internet is
Why I'm
decent.
saying you plug your computer into the actual Ethernet, so you have a hard line into fast internet.
Yeah.
And the rest of the stuff can run off a range extender, which will also give you pretty fast coverage.
Yeah. I mean, I live streamed from that apartment once when my brother was living in it, and it wasn't on Ethernet. It was only a 480p stream, and there was like a 30-second delay. But
And
You might have to buy upgraded internet.
it's been upgraded since then, I think.
Gregtree has the best internet when he's at school.
I love it.
Yeah. College campus internet, man.
I love it. I can't wait.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I can't wait to go back to school, because like Raw was supposed to come out a day before, but it was like 25% uploaded. I'm like, at school it uploads in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Like, I'm probably going to take WrestleMania with me on a flash drive to upload.
Yeah, I was thinking in like New Mexico, oddly, I had like amazingly fast internet.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Here, like where I live, we have like it probably takes me like 25 minutes to upload an hour video.
That's not bad.
like I could be running a stream, be running the network, and be on my phone.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, that was one thing. That was one thing when I was talking to him. Like, I had no idea that my video would take so long, because I uploaded the podcast with Ray. Like, Mada and I uploaded the podcast with Ray, and it uploaded in like 15 minutes.
Weird.
But then my episode of Raw took like 8 to 10 hours to upload. I don't know why. It's just the variance in the video. I don't know.
I don't know. It's strange.
But they're up, so whatever.
Anyway, let's wrap it up, guys.
Oh yeah, we kind of went way over normal time.
I didn't even realize it's been almost an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here catching Pokemon and Pokemon Go now. While we discuss.
Well, with that all said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the first ever and probably only ever free edition of the LS11 podcast. We now know, in fact, whose podcast it was anyway. Gregtree, not to be this guy, but I saw you playing with that spinner belt toy. Mine is bigger.
Yeah, well, mine's the rated R belt.
Oh, I've got one of those too.
God damn it.
Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to this free edition of the LS11 podcast. If you like this, consider checking it out on Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff up there. Early access to all side series on the channel. We're bringing back the side series this week. Of course, be sure to check out PNT Wrestling. They've got some cool stuff on there. They've got interviews with me and Ray, and I crashed Ray's interview as well, so I'm in that too. Of course I did, because my ego knows no bounds. Why? Because I was voted first place most humble. Anyway, so with that all said, that's been Gregtree, that's been Mada, that's been Ray, I've been Zander. That was the podcast.
Goodbye.